Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney, or welcome if you're new. Today's video we will be chatting about all the books that I read in March. So hey, what's up? How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. I have a cute little stack to talk about this month. Not so much in quantity, but quality. Pretty good. Mostly. But before we get into it, I want to thank today's sponsor, which is Book of the Month. Book of the Month is a super popular and fast-growing online book service for readers whose mission is to promote new and emerging authors while helping readers find books that they love. The team over at Book of the Month does this every single month by vetting hundreds of books and curating a list of 5 to 7 books every single month for us readers to choose from, meaning that we can spend less time researching and more time reading. The best thing about Book of the Month is that it is risk-free. If you are not vibing with any of the choices that month for whatever reason, you can skip at no extra cost and pick up the next month exactly where you left off. Plus, it is the best place for you to get a hardcover back book for $9.99 using my code BOOKWORM. That link is down below in the description. Please click it and check it out. This month in April, I was lucky enough to choose 2 of the titles that are options. The first one I chose is Adelaide by Genevieve Wheeler. This is a debut novel exploring grief and mental health while capturing the timeless nature of what it's like to be young and in love with your friends, with your city, and with a person who cannot and will not love you back. I love to feel pain when I'm reading. I love deep emotional stories, and I have heard that this one will not miss that mark. The other book that I chose this month is Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling. This book is set in a near future northern settlement following the fates of a young woman, a professor, and a mysterious collective of climate researchers colliding in this masterful exploration of who and what will survive in a warming world, and how falling in love and building community can be the most daring acts of all. This book has one of my biggest trigger words, which is atmospheric, as well as things like electrifyingly page-turning, hidden agendas, all-women military research unit, and of course, gripping. This book sounds like it's right up my alley, and I was very excited to see it as an option. If neither of these books strike your fancy, there are many others that you can check out using that link down in my description. Don't forget to use my code BOOKWORM at checkout to get your first box for $9.99. Thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to it. All right, so let's get into chatting about these books, shall we? We shall. I have 5 books to talk about today, and I'm gonna mention the 3 that I'm still reading that I have not yet finished. So I'll give you some like initial thoughts on those. But this month I continued 2 series, which is good for me. And if you saw my TBR video, you know I am even continuing these same series, which is very exciting. And I deserve a round of applause, all right? In the month of March, I continued the Dreamland Billionaire series, and I read Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. There's just something about these books. I don't know what it is. I don't even know if what I'm going to say is valid. People might disagree with me, which is absolutely fine, but I genuinely feel in my mind and heart that this is a great series. Like, it is well written. The relationship is obviously messy, but I do think that it discusses the intricacies of growing up in a toxic household and kind of coming to terms and growing from those flaws that you like adapted to as a child, and like, I don't know, going through and growing from them. So far, the very first book, which was The Fine Print, and this one, Terms and Conditions, the character development, especially of the male protagonist, is phenomenal. They grow. And it takes a lot, you know, like it's not easy, nor is any sort of like mental health or emotional health journey. But I genuinely do think that the stories so far have done a great job at that aspect of the story. The spice level in this one is definitely less than the first book, I think. I'm pretty sure. But I still really loved the dynamic between Declan and Iris. I will say that if I were to rank The Fine Print and Terms and Conditions, I would still have The Fine Print in the first spot, and then this would be my next favorite. I'm very excited to get into The Final Offer, which is the final and 3rd book in this series, and see where it ranks out, because I think that I've heard that The Final Offer is really great, and that gives me some hope because I've loved all of these books so far. I think in my last wrap up, I gave The Fine Print like a 4.5 or something, but I would honestly give The Fine Print a 5 stars, and I think that this is a 4 to a 4.5. It's really interesting being in this series because we are dealing with the same people, but in different capacities. Cassidy, since we're following different main characters, but they're in the same family. You know what I'm saying? This series is about three brothers whose grandfather has passed away and he owned Dreamland, which is like Disney World basically. And the three brothers have to fulfill these tasks that the grandfather bestowed upon them. And if one or all of them do not complete their tasks, they all will not receive their inheritance and their share of the company, and it will go to their father, which we don't want that to happen because their father is a dick. And so it's really fun to be in the same sort of familial drama, but see it from different point of views. And I really, really loved my time. So yeah, 4 to a 4.5 for this one. I'm looking forward to the next one. The next book I read in the month of March is The Measure by Nikki Erlich. This one was the buddy read pick in my Nightcrawler book club over in the Greenhouse, which is my Patreon. So if you are a Nightcrawler, then you know that I have an exclusive reading vlog for y'all over in the Greenhouse, kind of dissecting this book a little bit in detail. But some overviews for this one. This is like a literary fiction sci-fi book where one day everyone wakes up and they have this box on their doorstep and it has a string inside the box which will depict how long your life will be. And in the story we're following a cast of characters who may or may not decide to look at their string to see how long it is and when they will die. And these stories interweave together somehow, and it follows the like political unrest around, you know, this situation at hand, which is absolutely bananas. Imagine literally everywhere in the whole world, everyone getting these boxes. It's crazy. And ultimately this book did a lot of things really, really well. They're writing around the emotional side of the situation, being with characters who their partners got a short string and they themselves got a long string, or vice versa, or whatever situation they might be in. It's written really well. I was literally, the last 50 pages of this book had me sobbing, crying. So obviously it tugged at my heartstrings and made me feel a lot, but this story, like I mentioned, it follows the like political turmoil and things in that realm of the world. And I could not care less about politics. Like the only sort of politics that I want to read about are fantasy political systems. Love that. I will eat that up all day. Real life politics, absolutely not. Like get it out of here. I do not want to be in a politician's head. That is like the last place that I would ever want to be. And there is a main character in here that is a politician and he's running for president. And I hated him, to say it kindly. And obviously in the exclusive reading vlog over in the Greenhouse, I kind of go into this a little bit more. But all of these things being said, I ended up giving this a 4. The next book I read in the month of March is Valor by John Gwynne. This is book 2 in the Faithful and the Fallen series, which is a epic high fantasy war story. It involves demons, gods, giants, men, women, all in this epic war called the God War, which took place many, many, many years ago. However, there was a prophecy that prophesized that it was going to occur again. And this series is about the God War, you know, happening again. And it's really absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. If you've seen my latest reading vlog, then you know that I compare this series very much to Skyrim. Those are the vibes. If you don't agree with me, then I don't know what to tell you, because it is quite literally to a T how I feel about it. And it gives me so much joy to be in this world. I truly just am loving this series with my whole heart. John Gwynne's writing style is just, man, it's for sure one of my favorites. His characters, I feel so strongly about them. Either I would die for them, I would literally put my heart on the line to save their butts, or he writes them in a way that makes me feel the opposite of love towards them. And either way, there are a lot of strong feelings. It is a very dramatic and battle-heavy series. Lots goes on. There's so many characters. 5 pages alone with just characters. And the next book, which is Ruin, there's even more pages. There's like, I think 7 pages of characters in that one. I don't even want to know how many pages are in Wrath, which is the 4th one. However, if you take the time and take as many notes as I do, it's really rewarding. This political system is absolutely bananas. It is so good. And I truly think that this is such a phenomenal series. I have given both of these first 2 books in the series 5 stars. The next book that I read in the month of March is Tripping Arcadia by Kit Mayquist. This book is following our main character, Lena, who is a med school dropout. She has to move back with her parents and get a job to help pay the bills. She finally finds a job working for one of Boston's like most elite families as a assistant to their physician. And she very soon realizes that there is a lot of mystery within this family. Not everything is what it seems. And she soon finds out that the patriarch of this family is the reason of her own family's demise. So she gets roped into this family and engrossed in the mystery of it all. There are some crazy things going on. There are these parties that she somehow gets entangled to in more ways than one, and it is just a gothic dream. I love this book. I'm mad that it took me so long to read it, but I'm so glad that I finally did because it was exactly what my brain wanted at the time I was reading it. I ended up giving it a 4.5, and I docked off a half point only because the reveals at the end of the story were kind of a lot. I had to like go back and reread some things and like make sure I was really understanding, and it did seem like when I was going through the Goodreads reviews that there was quite a few people that agreed with me, which I felt much better about. Like I was like, am I just stupid? But no, the reveals were a little bit confusing at times, but ultimately like my journey throughout the story, and once I fully, I think, understood all of the plot twists, it was great. The last book I read in the month of March is Spite House by Johnny Compton. This was the book club pick for Kayla's book club, Literally Dead book club, and it is a classic like haunted house story following our main character Eric and his two daughters. They've been running from something, right? Okay, their situation is a mystery in and of itself that you eventually find out within the story, but they have been kind of on the run, so to say. Eric, the dad, has been finding odd jobs, you know, to get them through, and this situation occurs when he finds an ad in the paper to live at this house, the Spite House, and it's like a 6-figure deal. Like he's very excited because he can probably, you know, put some money away and really provide for his daughters. So he goes in and ends up getting the job. They want him to live in this house and kind of journal his experiences with the like paranormal entities that he comes in contact with. And the owner of the house has her own ulterior motives that you learn about later. You also learn that his youngest daughter has something going on, / Eric's whole lineage really does. So there's a lot of moving parts within this story. It's not just a cut and dry haunted house story. There's also a lot of mystery within the characters. And it sounds, the way I'm talking about it, like, wow, Sydney, did you like this more than you actually did? Am I trying to like raise my rating inadvertently? I don't know, but I ended up giving this 3 stars, and I don't know, maybe it's like a 3.5, because ultimately this story, it has a lot of moving parts, like I just said, and I liked it. It was good. However, with all of these moving parts, I was intrigued. It was not spooky. I want to be scared when I'm reading a haunted house story. I want to be so unsettled that I don't even want to be in my own house. And I truly did not find it spooky at all. Like there was so many opportunities to where, I don't know, some spooky shit could have happened. And it just didn't. Like it was a little bit creepy, you know, but it was not like scary or spooky or I don't know. It's almost like it felt like spooky moments were building up, but then it was just like it stayed at a level where the level could have been way up here. You know what I'm saying? Like there were just opportunities that weren't taken advantage of, and it was a little disappointing. That's really all I can say about this story without even hinting at spoilers, because a lot of the characters and what they're going through and who they are as people might ruin the story for you if you knew it before going into it. So yeah, I mean, if you like haunted house stories, then you might have a good time with this one, because I did. I just wanted to be scared or more scared. Those are all the books that I read in the month of March in its entirety. I just want to mention the 3 books that I am in the middle of right now. I have a Kindle book, a physical book, and an audiobook, and it's a party. My audiobook right now is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. I'm trying to get back on my Shadowhunters game because I really do want to just finish these books and get into her later work, because I enjoy the world. I have fun listening to these stories while I'm doing like chores or like cleaning things. Kind of low effort for my brain, and it's just, you know, kind of a nostalgic classic world that I enjoy. Will my rating be high? Probably not, but I'm not hating it. And then of course I am reading Ruined by John Gwynne. I am a little over halfway right now. I just have to have time to actually sit down and read it. And same as Valor, I'm loving it. There's not much more I can say. I love it. And then my ebook on my Kindle is Looking Glass Sound by Caterona Ward, which is an arc that I was lucky enough to get. And I am so stoked about this book. Like really excited. I'm about 30% of the way in and just really kind of obsessed with it. It's really stunning. This book will come out in August of this year, I believe. And I, if you know me, loved Last House on Needless Street. I haven't yet read Sundial, but it is on my TBR. I definitely want to read that soon. But Looking Glass Sound, man, it's going well. Caterona Ward just has such an amazing way of writing, so aerially but also poetic, that chef's kiss. And I just can't wait to continue and finish it. So I'll let you know final thoughts in the next wrap up, or honestly, I'm filming a vlog right now with that book in it. So look out for the next vlog, because I'm probably going to talk about it a lot in there. But that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Once again, thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to use my code bookworm to get your your first box for $9.99 using the code down in the description. And while you're down there, if you are still watching, leave the 4-leaf clover emoji down below in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I really appreciate your support, and of course, be kind to one another, and happy reading. Bye.